Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right, great to be with you, and a lot to get to on the show between the NBA draft and the Brendan Sorsby supplemental draft au contraire mon frere.
And the NCAA.
And the NCAA 5 for 5, which I agree with.
So we will get to the NCAA and Sorsby in a moment. Let's start with last night's events going on in the Barclays Center, I believe, where the NBA draft took place. The first, I believe, 5 picks we pretty much had on the money in terms of Devonta 1.
The first 7 we had right.
First 7? I don't know if we had 6 or 7 in the right order.
No, I did.
You did? Okay.
Oh, no, I said Brown was going to go 6, and then Acuff was going to go 7.
the first 7.
I didn't say that's how I would draft.
Yeah.
I said that's how the draft is going to go.
Honestly, I think we had the 8th pick is correct with Kingston Fleming's too.
We did. We had Kingston Fleming's as 8. Right.
And then after that, it was when it was more of a who fits your team best type of thing.
But then, starting.
Yeah.
But again, which player did I say in that other group is the one that's going to have the longest career?
Merez Johnson, and we'll get to him in a second. Yeah. So the draft, how it went, the Wizards took Devonta 1, expected. The Jazz took Peterson 2, also expected. Cameron Boozer went 3rd to the Grizzlies. Wilson went 4th to the Bulls. Wagler went 5th to the Clippers. Mikael Brown Jr. to the Nets at 6. Darius Acuff Jr. went 7 to the Kings. Kingston Fleming went 8th to the Hawks. Right. Every team, it feels like, got their guy. Apparently, the Kings were debating trading up to try and get Acuff earlier. They were scared he was going to be taken above them, but it didn't fall that way. They knew the Nets loved Mikael Brown Jr., and it was just about the Clippers. What were they going to do? They went Wagler. The Kings stuck put. They got Acuff, and the Hawks wanted one of those guards, and they probably get the one they wanted most. So he goes 8. 9, as you mentioned, Merez Johnson Jr. Last night, Dusty May, the new Mavs head coach, former Michigan coach, was at the Barclays Center. As the draft was unfolding, he had to see all 3 Michigan guys go within 4 picks, which was pretty cool. But Johnson was that first one to go at 9 to the Mavs. To team up with Cooper Flagg, because Flagg, of course, is a wing. He plays the 3 or the 4.
He needs protection.
And what better way to get him protection than a 6'9" monster who's built like a truck?
Right. Sure.
It's pretty good. And so Merez Johnson goes 9th, as you said yesterday, is going to be the one who's going to go there.
At least I didn't say he was going to go there. I said of the Michigan players, he got the least pub. I thought he was the guy that had the 10-year career in him. Yeah. That's what I said.
You did? Right. And he then
we'll see if we'll have to see now if that pans out, but that's what I thought in looking at their players and seeing them in person a couple of times this year.
He went 9th. We'll skip the 10th pick for a second and come back to it. 11th was Axel Lendeberg, who went 11th. And the Warriors' war room was one that's been talked about now because last night they were doing a no audio live stream of the war room, essentially showing what it looks like when a draft is going on, where the owner and the GM, everyone are in the room talking and discussing. And there was a lot of animation in the room around the time Lendeberg was selected. They went over their time. Everyone thought they had then missed their pick. Turns out they had gotten it in the nick of time, apparently. They took Lendeberg, but it did not look like the owner and the GM and front office were on the same page, which is interesting because this is kind of how we thought the draft would unfold. And I'm like, well, who did you have higher on your board, and who was the debate around?
All right. First of all, let's get to the Warriors for a second. This is not the same Warriors organization except for the owner and the head coach.
And Steph Curry.
Yeah, but I'm saying not the same organization that built championships. Okay? Jerry West had been a part of what was going on, and Bob Myers had been there as well. So between Myers and having Jerry West was one of the truly outstanding talent evaluators everywhere he went. Sacramento had a quick run of success. Who was involved? Jerry West. Lakers, Jerry West. Memphis had a run. who was involved in it? Jerry West.
Is he in the Hall as a general manager as well?
No, I think he's only in as a player, as if that's only. I don't think that he was put in as a contributor.
Three separate times.
He
is in as a player
college
in 1980,
player,
a member of the 1960 U.S. Gold Medal team, and as a contributor for his career in the front office in 2024.
Right.
He's the first person ever to be inducted 3 separate times.
And he should be because, I mean, again, I'm outlining. I don't think people realize he was involved in all those teams. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why you got a screwball like me here that can remember stupid stuff. But so the Warriors are not the same organization, even though they have the same owner, coach. They don't have the same talent evaluators there, and it has been showing up in their drafts. Mm-hmm. It's been showing up in their drafts. Yeah, I know they won the title in 2022?
But that was also such an aberration because they just it clicked in the right way, and they hit it. Yeah. But you mentioned their drafts. Let's go back over the last few years. We'll go back through since 2020.
Because can I go further back?
Go for it.
This Warriors team was basically built on the draft. Mm-hmm. They drafted Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. They drafted Klay Thompson. They drafted Draymond Green. Mm-hmm. Right? They've been the core group. Yeah. They didn't acquire them. They drafted them. Then they added in eventually other guys like Andre Iguodala helped them win. Then they added in Kevin Durant. They won 2 more. Mm-hmm. They added in a Wiggins who helped them in the 2022 season. Right? Mm-hmm. But they had a core group that they drafted. Their talent evaluation was superior for many, many years. And, they added in a Harrison Barnes who helped them and so forth. But their talent evaluation has not been the same for years.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll look back. We'll start with the 2019 draft that took Jordan Poole. Of course, that worked at the time. He helped them win a title. So we'll give a pass on it. But then afterwards, you, of course, have the 2020 draft, which has been heavily talked about, if they took 2nd overall James Wiseman.
It made no sense to me when they took him.
No. And then, of course, the other player who was mentioned as being a guy they should take, who was the rumor, who then went 12th, crazily, was Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
They would have liked to have Halliburton. Sure. You look at the rest of that draft.
It would have made the loss of Klay Thompson easier.
Agreed. And it also would have meant Steph Curry doesn't have to be the guy on the ball the whole time, which is a major thing.
Sure it is.
You then also have Tyrese Maxey and Jaden McDaniels and Peyton Pritchard and Desmond Bane in that draft, and a lot of guys who are not just dudes. They're players.
Yeah.
And so you got that in the 2020 draft. Of course, 2021, you've got Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, 7th and 14th overall. There's other players you probably would have taken. Franz Wagner went 8th in that. He's better than Kuminga is.
Yeah, of course.
You then have got players later in that round. You've got Alperen Şengün, Trey Murphy III, Jalen Johnson, Quentin Grimes. You start looking down, there's just more and more people.
The talent evaluation hasn't been great. Now, let's look at a team that understands the draft, and that's Oklahoma City.
Yes.
Oklahoma City has beautifully built its team around a great trade that where they took a guy that he's a star, and of course, I don't think he's a star, is Paul George, who just everywhere he's gone, nothing has really happened. All right? They unload him because the Clippers are like, we're going to have our big 3, and Oklahoma City's like, we're going to get a basketball player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But then they draft Williams. They drafted Holmgren. Now, after going through the series with San Antonio, they felt they needed a matchup with Victor Wembanyama.
They did.
Right? And they got Uday Mara. Right? Shai doesn't need to be on the ball all the time. Let's take Bennett Sturts and acquire him. Right? So you're sitting there now. Again, Sam Presti understands the draft. Sam Presti does not, was Holmgren a one and done as the 2nd overall pick? Yes. All right? Yes, he was. Presti just gets the best player available to fit a team concept over and over again. He is a superior evaluator of talent and a superior understanding of making parts fit. Right? He's got Mara now. That takes pressure off of Holmgren. Right? Mara's the guy they want to match up with Victor Wembanyama. Okay. I want to get Shai off the ball where it's not always him, I have Bennett Sturtz. Sturtz won't start, but he'll come off the bench, and he's going to help them. And there's going to be a point in the season he is going to start, and Sturtz is going to be a good player for them. Hey, well, he's an older player.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Okay, that means BS to me, and that's why I don't like how the NBA operates. The NBA does not seem to. There's too many guys in the NBA that. Well, we got to take the foreign player. We got to take the 90. We got to take the one and done. No, you don't. You need to take the best player available that fits what you need. So they went and got an older player, Uday Mara, because they needed a guy to match up with Victor Wembanyama. I need another guard that can handle the ball. So they went out and got a senior in Bennett Sturtz. Well, guess what? They're one of the winners of the draft because he understands the draft. He doesn't do it like it's not. There's too many guys in this league are playing fantasy basketball. Sam Presti is playing winning basketball.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Thunder's roster because I want to expand on that a little bit. So you're the Thunder. Last year, you have 3 guys who can handle the ball and create scoring for themselves, which are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you've got Jared McCain, A.J. Mitchell, and Jalen Williams. Those 4. But you acquired Jared McCain. He's more of just a pure scorer. He's not
shooter.
A passer.
He's a guy. Yeah. He is a one-trick pony that can shoot the ball.
The only creator you have.
Which, by the way, is
good.
Is really good. That's not me. Yeah. That's not me putting his game down in any way, shape, or form. On that team, they don't need him to handle the ball. They need him to shoot.
Yes.
They now have a second ball handler that makes his job the job.
And not only that, what is something we talk about? You on every broadcast, you and Dick Girardi say, "Where's Waldo? Where is the guy on the defense who you're like, I can exploit them?"
Yep.
The only person on the Thunder roster who I think you can exploit would be Jared McCain.
Yes,
but
I agree
you
with
can
that.
Cover him up, and when you bring him on, you know what you're doing.
Because one of the things you have to do as a coach, I talk about this all the time. It's rarely, if ever, talked about because they'd rather do hot takes. In other words, you learn nothing about hot takes. Right? Is that you have to obviously put an emphasis on your strengths, but you have to figure out a way to mask your deficiencies. Right? So a guy like McCain, his deficiency is defense. You've got to be able to mask it along the way.
And how do you do that? You have
there.
guys who are long and can get who can get deflections and steals.
Yes.
Casey Wallace is great defensively. Lou Dort's great. Like you look and you've got guys who are just long, rangy, can touch the ball and tap it away. And then you draft Bennett Sturtz. He's an incredible point guard. He's older. He's got a good thinking mind. And what is he? He's not a Where's Waldo.
Right.
He's not a guy you're going to go after on defense. He's a good defender.
He's a good defender. He's a good passer. And he is a guy that's going to, every single day, he's going to take the time card, he's going to punch it in, he's going to put his time in, and then when he's done, he's going to punch out. He's not going to take days off.
And what is one of the biggest issues for any team?
And will Sturtz be a star? No.
No.
Sturtz will not be a star. He is going to be a winning player for you.
He's going to be a star in his role.
Yes.
Which his role is going to be, you are our second ball handler. Shai is going to need time to sit at some point in this game. We need 10 minutes out of you of playing great point guard play, and he's going to do that.
But I can bring him in, and I can put him off the ball, where now his legs are not going to get worn out on every single possession because he's got to bring the ball up. This guy was one of those unsung, smart Sam Presti. He's playing chess while the rest of the league is playing fantasy basketball and checkers.
If I'm guessing, I'm going to guess in an 82-game season and plus playoffs, he's going to play less minutes this year than he did for Iowa last year.
Yeah.
And even
he'll play exponentially. He'll play.
But that's the thing. Is it's like so often the worry is a lot of the rookies and younger players just at the end of the season they're got
worn
nothing
out.
in them.
They're worn out.
He's not going to have that because he played every second of every game, and they're going to ask him, we need 10 minutes of you either on the ball when Shai's on the bench or along with Shai for a little bit when Jalen Williams is on the bench. We need you to be in there to help kind of alleviate some pressure. And you saw it in the playoffs where Jalen Brunson and Jose Alvarado worked really well because they needed 2 ball handlers out there. And now what do you have? 2 really high-level ball handlers in Shai and Sturtz that you can bring off the bench. They traded Aaron Wiggins. They made a space. They're going to probably have to trade Isaiah Joe. That's one more space. Maybe one of the other guys, whether it's Kenrich Williams or Isaiah Hartenstein or someone else, may probably have to leave the roster at some point for cap reasons. You've got the guy who's going to fill in, and you've got Uday Mara, which, by the way, you mentioned Paul George. The Paul George trade is now Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, Trey Mann, who's okay, Jalen Williams, pretty good, Cason Wallace, pretty good, Nikola Topic has had some health issues, tore his Achilles, was diagnosed with cancer this past season, Uday Mara, pretty good. And then 2 more swaps to come as well.
Again, Mara,
that's crazy.
They drafted Mara with a purpose. They lost Game 7. They needed another bigger body out there that can handle Wembanyama. Yeah. Doesn't mean, again, that'll be his job, which will take pressure off Chet Holmgren. Right? It's just a good basketball move. Bennett Sturts is a good basketball move. There are certain teams in this league that are very well run, and it shows. Oklahoma City's one. The Knicks are another. Right? The Celtics, Brad Stevens, another. I think Detroit has become another team that has been able to understand what's going on. San Antonio understands what's going on. But after that, it becomes a mishmash, and the teams at the bottom of this thing that always seem to be at the top of the draft are the ones that are playing fantasy basketball all the time. Right? It's like, this is not a fantasy league. Hey, and it's not a league where, we're trying to show that we're playing world basketball. No, I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of the foreign players, are there foreign stars? No doubt. Luka Doncic is a foreign star. Nikola Jokic is a foreign star. There's a list of them. But the vast majority of the guys that have been drafted from overseas, no, has not happened. Right? The draft tonight, the 2 names I'm looking for tonight that I think will be important players to the teams that they go to. Not stars, but important players. Braden Smith of Purdue will be one.
Someone's going to want a good backup point guard, and he's that guy.
And I think not just I think could be drafted as a backup point guard that could be the starter by midseason. And the other one is a guy that is way under everybody's radar, but I think is going to be a good NBA player. Not a great, awesome, incredible, but Richie Saunders of BYU. The reason BYU, they had obviously the expensive roster and DeBance and so forth. BYU's humming along doing okay. They're doing well until he got hurt.
Tore his ACL in February, and that was the end of their season basically because he was the guy who spaced the floor, is a sharpshooter, is 6'5", he's not small, and like he did everything you needed him to. And he's recovering from his injury. Someone's going to take him. He was never an explosive athlete. He's always a guy you just want to go out there and do his thing.
He's a good basketball player that's a very good shooter. Braden Smith is much quicker than people realize, right? Much quicker. And he is somebody whose shot has really improved over the years. And, look, I don't know. You saw him in person how many times?
I mean, it didn't matter where he was. He didn't make mistakes.
Really good player.
I would also like to bring up one team really quick. So we mentioned the other these guys who did well in the draft. I think the Hornets, that's really weird of me to say. The Hornets had a good draft. They said, we want someone who's another good forward to go on our team because we have, realistically, it's Ryan Kalkbrenner and Moussa Diabate are our 2 centers. They're good, but we want someone else who's there. And who did they take? A player we talked about yesterday, Hans Steinbach. They took him 14th. They said, we want him.
Hannes Steinbach. Okay.
He's a rebounder, and he's
Hannes Steinbach is, to me, when we saw him, well, you didn't make the trip, but you could see it on the tape. I said, "Jeepers!" I said, "Dick, this is an NBA guy just running around here who doesn't act like an NBA guy. He's so understated. His rebounding will automatically make Charlotte better. Just rebounding.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a guy with a nice face-up game, range." Remember, the corner 3 in college basketball is the exact same distance as the corner 3 in the NBA. It's just when they bring the arc out, it's a little shorter. The arc is shorter, but not the corner 3. I've seen him at the corner 3 with regularity, and he can play with his back to the basket. Hannes Steinbach was just one of those guys I talked about yesterday. I've talked about him for months. And I think that was a smart, savvy pick by them.
And then 4 picks later, they took the guy who I thought was probably one of the best players in college basketball last season, Christian Anderson from Texas Tech. Is like a 40-something% three-point shooter. Yeah. And JT Toppin gets hurt for Texas Tech.
And he took over.
He took over and basically willed them into the tournament and as far as he got them. It was Christian Anderson against the world.
It's a good pick.
So those two are really good picks. The Sixers, for the Philly perspective, they took LeBaron Philon out of Alabama.
Which, by the way, is a good pick.
Good pick.
I want to tell you, Philon went to the Combine last year and worked out for individual teams. And look, they're not recruiting you.
No.
My understanding is he received some very blunt criticism about what you need to work on. He worked on being a better shooter, and he worked on being a better distributor. And Philon went back to Alabama, took his name out of the draft last year, went back to Alabama, and guess what? He went from 32% in threes to 40%, and his assists went over 5 a game.
It's about as good as you could ask for.
Right. But that tells me about him. He listened to what he needed to do, and instead of saying, "What? I got this far without you guys," he took it to heart and he made himself a better player, and that's a good pick by the Sixers.
And he's going into a good spot where it's Maxey and Edgecombe, and he's going to be the guy coming off the bench, essentially being that secondary player, and that's going to be a good spot to learn. And he's not going to be put in the situation a lot of these other point guards are, where they're going to be told, well, here's 30 minutes tonight, you go have fun out there. Oh, by the way, you're being defended by Alex Caruso and Lou Dort tonight. Have fun. Not happening. And by the way, one more player, Terrace Reed Jr., the Spurs said we need some more physicality, another center alongside Wemby who can do stuff. Terrace Reed's pretty good about that.
Right. Again, as I said before, there's certain organizations I think they're a cut above as to how they view building teams. San Antonio's one of them. Yes, they got completely fortunate with the pick of Wembanyama. I mean, they won the lottery.
And Dylan Harper, they end up getting second.
But they won the lottery. Harper, they made the smart move and they picked him. Right, Castle to me is the savvy pick of those picks. The savvy pick is Castle because he was 5, I think.
Yeah, he was 4th.
All right, 4th.
I believe 4th.
All right, 4 or 5, whatever. Okay. So he gets picked, but that was the savvy pick because I thought he was the best player in the draft.
Yeah, it was Reese Shea, Starr, Reed Shepherd, and then Stephon Castle.
I'm sitting there like going, like, remember when we did the draft?
Yeah.
Who did I say was the best player in the draft? That draft.
Stephon Castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember it. We were talking about it.
Right. What did I say about the first 3 picks? I said why, and why. I don't get it.
Just another guy. For all 3.
Just another. I said each one was just another guy. I said Shepard can probably shoot. He's a one-trick pony. I said Castle's the full package. I mean, I don't get how they evaluate talent in this league. I don't get it. Right? I looked at that draft. I'm like going, this is the worst draft I've ever seen in my life. Who's running these franchises? Now Washington had to make up for that pick and took Debanza. Okay, Atlanta's never going to be able to make up for the Ricochet pick. Right? And it's not 2020 hindsight. We said this going into that draft. Why? I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't understand how they evaluate talent in this thing. I don't get it.
Speaking of talent.
And I'm not going to pretend I know European talent. I don't. That would be something that if I wanted to know about European talent, the person I would go to right away, first phone call would be Fran Fraschilla. And I've talked to Fran several times over the years because we run into each other along the way. He knows foreign talent evaluation better than anybody I've been around. He'd be the first person I would call if I was thinking about drafting a European player.
Fun fact, by the way, Hannes Steinbach and Christian Anderson, teammates on the U19 German national team. And they're both excited to play together. More NBA news real quick before we get to the college football side of things. Austin Reeves signed a 4-year, $185 million max contract to return to the Lakers with a player option in his final season in 29-30. He is the richest contract ever for an undrafted player, which is very cool to see in terms of the undrafted piece. Like the fact that you go from that to this.
Well,
It shows you
What
put
I
in
said.
work and you care and like.
Okay. That's because, as I said, you have to play your way into the league for the second contract. He did that.
He did that. Moving on over to the Brendan Sorsby side, Steve Jones, yesterday after we got off air, the NFL announced they will not have a supplemental draft in 2026. Per the collective bargaining agreement, they're allowed to decide. The letter that was sent to their attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, informing
was blunt.
It was blunt, and it is the first time I've seen the NFL really like go at somebody. They, under the collective bargaining agreement, the league retains sole discretion to determine whether it is appropriate to conduct a draft or not. Your petition, filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. The issues presented by your petition are too significant and too closely tied to the league's core integrity interests to permit meaningful review within the timeline presented. The sole reasons identified in your petition are basically the NCAA declared you ineligible and you exhausted all other options and avenues. The league just straight up was like, you didn't give us any information and you just kind of said, we want to go to the NFL. We're not letting you in.
Well,
dang.
Well, essentially what they said was you admitted to betting on your own team. Mm-hmm. You admitted to betting on your own sport. Mm-hmm. Guess what is a rule in every sport around the world, right? Contrary to what the Judge of the Month Club in Lubbock
would agree.
County, right? There's 8.3 billion people in the world. They found the one guy because the world is unified.
Yeah.
You can't bet on your sport.
No.
Right? The NFL sat there and looked at this and said, the heck with this, right? The only reason you're applying for you didn't want to apply for us when you could have, right? You didn't want to. You wanted to go back to college.
Yeah.
Okay? And then after lawsuits came up, yes, you got a temporary injunction, right? And then it became a mess. And then the Big 12 sued. And now it's like everything became a living you-know-what.
May I read
and the NFL looked at him and go, I'm sorry, the only reason you're doing this is that we're last resort and we're not your last resort.
Well,
and Kessler says that they can sue whatever. Excuse me, it's in the collective bargaining agreement.
The NFL can decide.
The NFL can decide because it's in the CBA. And here's the other part. There's nothing the NFLPA can do for it because guess what Brendan Sorsby is not? He is not a member of the NFLPA.
No. May I read out a passage from page 2 of their letter, which was just a long, gigantic, it was a lot. I loved reading this yesterday. Quote, your petition does not address these matters, nor does it demonstrate accountability for your conduct or indicate whether or how you would adhere to the league's rules and policies governing the integrity of competition. Instead, even after receiving notice of the NCAA's decision rescinding your college eligibility in May, you sought to avoid the consequences of that determination through litigation rather than accepting responsibility for your actions, and you pursued entry into the NFL only after abandoning those efforts.
That's exactly right.
As Commissioner Goodell has emphasized, participation in the NFL is a privilege that carries the significant responsibilities, including accountability. By all accounts, you are a talented player with the potential for future success. We encourage you to focus on preparing for possible entry in the NFL for the 2027 NFL annual draft. Basically, I'm saying, as you said, you have not taken responsibility for your action. You have not saw how you would adhere to our issue. Because you bet at that point, how are you going to not bet now? Now there's real money on the line. You were making a lot of money in college. Now you're making a lot of money in the NFL every year, and it's going to get crazy.
And not only that, but the league allows you to bet on anything else
except for football, and as long as you're not on
except for the NFL, and you cannot do it on the premises, which, by the way, includes the team hotel on the road. Okay, so look, there's a lot. Okay, the NFL, in my opinion, makes for the league. If I'm running the league, I do the same thing. Okay? Sorsby's problem is going to be an interesting one moving forward because I'm a firm believer you can only get better playing your sport. You can only be better at basketball by playing basketball. You can only get better at football by playing football. He is not, unless he opts for the CFL, which, by the way, is 2 weeks into its season. Actually, it's technically 3 weeks because it's a 9-team league. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to sit out. So the league goes over 21 weeks, plays 18 games. Is it bad that I know that? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. But that's how it works. Well, there were only 2 to 3 games in. I think one team's played 3 so far. Everybody else has played 2. Mm-hmm. Right. But the CFL is so different. Mm-hmm. 3 downs, wider field. Now, the end zones, which used to extend right from Manitoba to Saskatchewan, now are only 15 yards deep instead of what they used to be. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a 110-yard field. There's a lot of things about the CFL that are different. Have there been CFL quarterbacks that have gone to the NFL? Yes, except they all have gone to the NFL a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Joe Theismann, Warren Moon, Doug Flutie, Dieter Brock, Vince Ferragamo went up and then came back. But these are all guys from yesteryear that did this. Right? And if he wants to play, that's the option to play, and I don't know if it's a great option. Mm-hmm. And
he may have to, though, in terms of just getting reps.
Is he allowed to practice with Texas Tech? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's allowed to do. It sounds like Texas Tech has cut ties with him.
I know. Steve, one other piece. May I read a tweet for you? Division I adopts age-based eligibility model. The single standard replaces sport-specific rules and waivers. Changes will be fully implemented for the fall 2027 incoming class. The cabinet's decision is not final until its meeting concludes Wednesday. This was posted yesterday by the NCAA through their press release. It is, of course, the age-based 5-year eligibility piece. And within the implementation, it states what's going on, who would be affected where. Those who enroll in the 25-26 season and the 26-27 season, it says either the previous rules or the new age-based model, whichever is most beneficial to the student-athlete, essentially saying we'll give you as much time as we can give you under the rule if it's being followed correctly, whichever one benefits you more. Yeah. And then anyone fall 2027 or later will be the age-based model only.
Yeah.
So this is coming on down.
Okay.
Probably today we'll find out about it.
So let's talk about which sports will be affected by it. The sports that will really be affected by it will be men's ice hockey. Mm-hmm. That's one, because there are a lot of 20, 21, and sometimes 22-year-old freshmen playing men's ice hockey. So that's one. Mm-hmm. Men's basketball will be affected. The Medar kid who has played pros since 2020, was signed by LSU. He's 25. But one of the exemptions in there is military service. He did serve 2 years in the Israeli military. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that, but see, older European players, right, will have their number of seasons available reduced. Mm-hmm. Here's the other one. Look at the exemptions. What exemption is not in there? And this affects wrestling. The Olympic exemption is not in there. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's not in there. So he gets an Olympic year. He's not going to wrestle, blah, 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 his eligibility. Mm-hmm. That exemption is not in this. I'm just trying to tell people ahead of time. Now, what about current players? Well, guess what? Current players, it sounds like, will get an extra year because they're trying to avoid, guess what? Going to court.
That's why they're saying it's whatever benefits the student athlete the most. Essentially saying we'll give you many years as we're able to under whichever model works better for your aging structure.
So let's get to 3-year players on the Penn State team that are going into their 4th year. Mm-hmm. They're now, it looks like, going to get an extra year if
this is the rule as of
but if they don't go to the draft.
Yeah.
Zion Tracy, Carson Hansen, Ben Bramer, okay, Cooper Ebel, Jamison Patton, okay. Suddenly out of nowhere, who has 2 years of eligibility remaining, but now have 3? Well, how about Brett Eskeldon? Brett Eskeldon is in there. Marcus Neal, Cale Brazina, Cooper Cousins, James Peoples, Dallas Vakalahe.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. How about those who had 3 seasons remaining? They played their freshman year, but now have 4. Darius Dixon, Yvonne Kamaju, Kobe Howard, Alex Tash, the transfer from Colorado, Alexander McPherson, and LeVar Arrington II are all guys who burned red shirts last year, but now, according to this, would have 4 years to play.
Mm.
And for a kid like Tash, that's incredible because guess what? He tore his ACL at the end of last season.
This could be we're going to be discussing this for a while.
But again,
there was a lot.
But you do have a
here.
limit on roster of 105.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And of course, the transfer portal rule is still in there. But to be honest with you, giving these guys extra years is the right thing to do. You implemented the rule. Giving them extra time because you changed the rules. It's your rule change. So now you go from there as to what this means for them. But the exemptions are pregnancy, military, or religious. Mm-hmm. So in other words, if you're we talked about BYU. If you're at BYU, we all know at BYU about the Mormon missions.
Mission trips. Yeah.
Sometimes they're a year, sometimes they're 2 years.
Mm-hmm. So there's an exemption for the year or 2 years. Whatever.
Right. Well, yeah, whatever time you're out to do it, you'd be allowed.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, I mean, that's how they're trying to cover their ground on this.
Mm-hmm. And
that's why I mentioned the LSU player. He spent 2 years in the Israeli military.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what takes place there, and then tomorrow we'll also be able to discuss.
But I also think it's the right move. Okay,
It is.
I think it's the right move by the NCAA. Mm-hmm. The heck with all this playing games with the red shirting stuff, and then like we'll play them in 3 games, and we'll hold out, or 2 games early, and then maybe late in the year play them in 2. Mm-hmm. 5 years, you got it. We're done. If you get to the end of 5 and you only can play 1, we feel awful about that, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the name of the game. In the NFL, if you have 5 years and you're only able to play 1, you're not with a team anyway.
Yeah.
When it's over with.
Mm-hmm. Today, by the way, the group stages for groups A, B, and C are wrapping up in the World Cup. Bosnia, Herzegovina, Qatar, Switzerland, Canada, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland, Brazil, Czech, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea. Those are going on today. The only team I believe we know for certain is Mexico is into the next round. That is because of they've changed from going off goal difference to going off head-to-head for who qualifies where, which is just a dumb thing. But Mexico is through, and then that is it. I believe Brazil and Morocco are all but guaranteed to get in as long as they don't really mess up today. So group stage is going on. We'll talk about them tomorrow, plus Team USA.
And the only comment I'll make outside of sports is this. Somebody explained to me why in Williamsport gas is 60 cents per gallon less than Center County.
Why is that?
I don't know. Somebody tell me. I don't understand. Why is it $4.29 here and it's $3.69 there? Somebody explain that to me. Somewhere. Somebody. Right? Do we need to dig some trench and have some waterway to get in here? No idea.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk with Steve Jones.